Hello and welcome to part 3 of making Andorra the best national football team in the world. Today, hopefully, we're going to see some massive progress. But of course, as I mentioned already, this is part 3. So if you've not seen part 1 and part 2, there's a link on top of the screen right now to go and catch up. And then once you've caught back up, get back involved with this. So last time you were here, we saw Andorra climb to 63rd in the world rankings, and they've qualified in the past for a European Championship and a World Cup and got to the second round of the World Cup, may I add as well, which is good going. We've also redone all the youth and training facilities for all the clubs in Andorra as well, so that's good to see. Hopefully we'll start to see some more players coming through. We had a bit of a golden generation come through, however, at the point right now, it's not looking like there's going to be that many great players in the squad. If we sort it by potential ability, you can see that all their sort of best player, or current ability is probably better to sort it as, if I'm honest with you. But if we sort it by current ability, you can see that there's not many young players there. There's one 19-year-old. The other ones probably will be retired by the next World Cup. Definitely the one after that sort of thing. So they need to get some good players through and quickly to keep up their good momentum that they've made so far. So like the previous 2 episodes, another 12 years into the future today, going 4 years at a time, so we can sort of see that World Cup cycle and see how they develop over those 4 years and get to see those new crop of players coming through. As ever, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We're so close to 14,000 subscribers now, and we get to give away a copy of Football Manager 2020 at that point. And obviously at that point, it's nearly Christmas, so it's going to be a nice Christmas present for someone when they get to win a copy of the game. If you've not entered the competition yet, there is a link down in the description to get yourself entered into the competition. So good luck with that one. It shouldn't be long until we get to announce the winner, so get subscribing if you've not already. And just like that, we're back. 4 years in the future. We're now in 2046, so this is a good place to be. Now up to 59th in world rankings, so very slow progress. By the looks of things, behind my head, they actually got to 58th at one point in the world rankings. So they've dropped down just one place recently. But hopefully that kind of means that they've sustained themselves quite nicely. And hopefully they've got to a major tournament along the way. So jumping back to 2042 when they got to the second round of the World Cup. After that, they played in the UEFA Nations League Division B, won a game, drew a few games and lost a few, probably enough to stay in Division B, not get relegated or not get promoted. So into 2043, which is European Championship qualifying year, they look like they do all right. Win a few games, lose a few games and draw one game in the qualifying stages. Drew one friendly with Germany as well. It's quite a good one to draw. I don't think that's going to be good enough to qualify, unfortunately, in 2044. It was good enough, which is fantastic. However, they don't get out of their group. It was only good enough because they had to go through the playoff system where they beat Ireland and Russia in extra time. So that was good. Ireland on penalties as well. So got very lucky in those games, qualified for the championships, drew with Austria, drew with the Dutch and lost to the Italians. Obviously, probably came third or in their group or something like that to not qualify, unfortunately. But another European Championships under their belt is very good. UEFA Nations League Division B, once again, only the one win, a few draws and a couple losses. Probably enough to stay in Division B, I would imagine, as we enter 2045, World Cup qualifying year. They only lose one game, to be fair, against Italy. That's very, very good going. They've probably drawn too many, though. They probably got to the playoffs. Let's see if they got to the playoffs and into the World Cup. No, not even good enough for playoffs, apparently. Nothing in 2046 for the World Cup, so that's a bit of a shame. But at least they got to another European Championships. Looking at the senior squad, though, it doesn't look as good as it was one day. It has dropped down a bit, and there's actually a lack of players in there. There's not many players for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but the best current ability player there is 148. At 23 years old, probably capped out his potential as well. There's no one there under the age of 20. There was a 19-year-old there with no potential, but it's a shame. That golden generation has sort of disappeared a little bit. Now, well, I say sort of, it just has disappeared, hasn't it? It's just not there. Under 21 squad, 119, or actually no, let's sort it by potential ability. 141 is the best potential there. So at least there's one kind of good player coming through in the under 21 squad. Under 19's only 100 potential there. Not brilliant. We'll have a look and see what players actually are around, though, because obviously sometimes they're not actually in the national team, as we've seen before. Interesting. There's 2 players here who have got Andorran nationality. They're both 30 years old with 179, 173 potential, but not currently in the national side. I presume not picked for some reason, or they weren't allowed to go into the squad for those friendlies for some reason that we've just seen them play. I don't know. Either way, let's have a look at this guy. He looks okay. 86 caps, 47 goals, for Andorra. Currently plays for Tottenham in the Premier League after playing for Santa Coloma Leonessa, Racing Santander, Girona, and then £204 million transfer. What on earth? He can't be that good because he's got a terrible goal scoring record. I mean, but could you? The most expensive player ever is an Andorran player. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting to see that. But there we go. It's he's got good ratings, but he just doesn't score goals. I mean, 20 goals for Girona, 13 goals for Tottenham. It's not. He's got 164 goals and 441 appearances. It's not really £204 million worth of player, is it? I don't think. Either way, they paid the money for him. They're happy to, so fair play to them. The other guy plays for Chelsea. He's a defender, so not going to score the goals, obviously, but got 113 caps for Andorra. That's an awful lot of caps. He was sold for £60 million to Chelsea from Valencia after they bought him from Santa Coloma for £1 million. So, and he's had very good ratings as well, but not quite as outrageous as the previous chap. So I'm sure they'll play some games. There's obviously some other players here with some good potential, good current abilities, but they're getting on a little bit. So that's sort of the back end of that golden generation we saw. Hopefully, next time around, we're going to see some good players coming through with actually good potential. So another 4 years in the future, 2050, and well, a little bit of stagnation, down to 61st in world rankings, which isn't brilliant. Looks like they topped out at 58th a couple of occasions, but have currently dropped down to 61st. So they've been very, very steady for a long time, but obviously they've got to wait for this next generation of good players to come through after their previous one disappeared. Let's have a look how they've got on then. So to finish off 2046, a few wins and a few losses in the UEFA Nations League Division B again, so that's probably staying in Division B for the next time around. European Championship qualifying not going so well, losing a fair few games there, so I doubt they've qualified for the European Championship. They got to the playoffs again. How many playoff options are there, or places are there? Because they must be down near the bottom of their group for that. Either way, they get to the final of that, but lose to Bulgaria on penalty, so that's a little bit annoying for them. And then in the UEFA Nations League Division B, once again in 2048, not really looking that solid. They might be in a relegation battle there. Let's have a quick look. World Cup qualifying starts off very well, then sort of finishes off not so well, unfortunately. So I doubt they've qualified for the World Cup. They haven't. No major international competitions this time, but they are still in UEFA Nations League Division B. So let's have a quick look at the national side then and see how they've got on. Okay, so we're seeing some good players coming through here. They've obviously had a bit more. Obviously, we invested the money, invested the facilities once again, didn't we, last time, at the very end of last episode. They're seeing the fruits of that now because we've got some good potential players coming through. 188, 186, 181, 176, 172. Some really good players there, to be fair. Crucially, a goalkeeper, striker, right back, midfielder. I mean, maybe not right back as a crucial player, but two strikers that are very good. They seem to be very good at bringing through really good strikers. We've seen quite a few of those guys. In terms of current ability, though, the best player is that attacking midfielder with 157 current ability. He currently plays for Inter Milan, apparently. Moved there on a free transfer, which is amazing. Had a very poor season, though, in his first season for them, so perhaps he's not the best player to look at, but has got the best current ability. This striker plays for PAOK, by looks of things, in Greece, after they bought him for £20 million. Scoring 9 goals in 8 games. That's pretty good going. Looking at the actual list of full Andorran players, by looks of things, everyone who's good is actually picked for the national squad, or they've got that good potentiality and things like that. We've got quite a few players over 150 potential right now, though a few of them are actually players sort of hanging on from the previous generation or something like that. But that's good to see, at least some good players coming through. Current ability wise, the best player we saw on the national team is the best player actually of Andorran nationality. So that's good as well. At least they're in the team, for example. The right back has got 188 potential. Currently plays for Juventus, Juventus in game, obviously. Plays as a right back. How's he got on at Juventus? They got him so cheap, less than £1 million for a player of that potential. He's going to be fantastic and played relatively well for them so far. So I think we can be pretty pleased with what we've seen from this sort of roundup of the years, this cycle of years. Hopefully they'll sort of gel together, grow up together a little bit, and we should hopefully see them qualify for the 2054 World Cup. And for the final time in today's episode, we're back once again, 2054, and we've seen the Andorra national side rise to 52nd in the world ranking, so just outside that top 50 that we wanted to see in today's episode. So it's almost good enough. Actually, they got to 51st. That's the highest there. Now currently 52nd. So obviously, they've made slight improvements since we last saw them. Again, let's look at the schedule. 2050, they had a very good year in the UEFA Nations League Division B, winning most of their games. Surely that's promotion. That might be promotion to the A-Leagues. 2051, European Championship qualifying went brilliantly. They only lost one game along the way. That was to Spain, drew the other one. So they must have qualified for the European Championships. And they did qualify for the European Championships, beating Greece, beating Germany, losing to the Dutch, and then losing to Spain on penalties in the second round, which is pretty agonising. Also, they did get promoted to Division A, got a draw against Croatia, lost the rest of them, so probably relegated straight back down. But this is the best we've seen so far, which is really good. 2053 is World Cup qualifying year, and it looks like they've done well. They beat Luxembourg 8-0, that's pretty good. Only lost 2 games, both to Turkey, so we can presume that Turkey topped the group. Drew twice with Sweden as well, so hopefully Andorra have qualified for the World Cup. They've just missed out. I presume they must have finished third or something like that in their group. Sweden must have beaten Turkey along the way or something like that. Very close, agonisingly not to qualify for the World Cup, but they're on the right direction. They're back in Division B as well, but hopefully we'll see them get promoted back to the A-Leagues for next time around. So this national side must be pretty good. If we sort it by current ability, 181 potential, he's reached his potential, valued at £78 million. He currently plays for Real Madrid as well. How good is he? All right, they signed him for £87 million from Inter Milan. To be fair, his ratings are awful. Like, he's not got over a 7 rating in his whole career. Like, that is actually pretty bad. And to say he's valued at, what, £78 million, Real Madrid bought him for £87 million, that's disappointing. I'll be upset with him if he was my player, of course. 25 years old, 174 potentially. Didn't quite reach that 188, the right back we spoke about last time around. Still playing for Juventus, but getting, well, again, not massively good ratings. Better ratings, but nothing brilliant. Come on, strikers. This guy has got 186 potential as a striker. He currently plays for Inter Milan. They all like to go to Italy, don't they? His goal scoring record isn't very good either. Like, that's pretty poor goal score. I mean, to be fair, you're looking at a goal every other game because he's not playing many games anyway, but it's still 118 appearances, 46 goals. It's nothing amazing. Surely someone on here has to be good. 75 caps, 45 goals for Andorra. Currently playing for Porto. That's a bit of a better goal scorer. Well, it is better, I suppose. He's got 15 goals there in 28 games, 15 goals in 25 games, but his overall record of 99 goals in 214, for how good he probably is, it's maybe not the best. He's the guy that was at PAOK last time around, now playing for Porto. He's had quite an interesting career, to be fair, hasn't he? Going a bit of a different route around his football. At 24 years old, 149 current ability, probably not going to reach that potential, unfortunately. In terms of potential ability, no youngsters really coming through. We've got this guy here at 21, that guy at 22. There's another guy here at 20, but nothing as the height of 188 that we saw last time as the young player. Under 21 squad, a good player there with 157 potential. That's good to see. Under 20 squad now, that's a new thing. Only 99. Under 19s, 99 as well. So hopefully we'll see a few more good regens coming through on the scouting. There's a 15-year-old with 176 potential ability who's just come through the St. Julia ranks. So hopefully we're going to see some good stuff out of him in the next few years. That should be quite interesting. He could be a star of the future if he starts to realise that potential. But looking down, there's no one that's come through in like the last 4 years. Maybe this guy came through in the last 4 years with 158 potential, but no one as young as him coming through that's got significant potential. So we're going to do one more episode of this, and we're going to change something. To give us the very best chance of fantastic youth intakes and regens coming through, we're going to edit the nation details, go to generated players, and turn this right up to 200, all right? We're done with it being the same as Spain and Italy. We're turning it up to 200 out of 200, so they should have the best quality regens coming through consistently. My plan then is not to go 12 years in the future next time. I'm just going to leave it running overnight or something like that, and we'll see where we come back next time. Hopefully far enough in the future to see some significant change. Hopefully Andorra as close to number 1 in the world as possible, and if they are close, we'll go again for a little bit further. But that's what's going to happen next episode. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, that'd be fantastic. I really like that as well. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do drop a like on the video for me. And there's going to be a big subscribe button on the screen right about now. And also 2 more videos for you to watch. You can either go and watch another experiment video, or you can get involved with Hot to the Top, which is going really well. We just started a new season, so get involved with that one if you're not already involved. Until Monday, when I next see you for this experiment, have a good one. Goodbye.